Hi everyone, this is Mike Gorin. Welcome back to my perfect playthroughs where our objective is to accomplish everything the game has to offer. By popular demand from the Sega Genesis subreddit, here is Rocket Knight Adventures for the Sega Genesis. It nearly beat out a couple other titles like Revenge of Shinobi and Streets of Rage 3, but by popular demand, this is my return from my 1 year of long hiatus. This is my first time ever playing this game, so pardon as I basically rely a bit on save states in order to learn the ins and outs of how to play this game. Alright, so yeah, I'm just fidgeting around a bit right here. Now, believe it or not, this game was not the reason why I took a month-long absence from perfect playthroughs. The initial reason I took a month-long leave of absence is actually the initial reason was to try to complete the final grind for Final Fantasy VI Advance. But when I realized that it would basically take me 1,000 hours, meaning even if I devoted every single second of my 24-hour period, non-stop, no job, no sleep, no eating or drinking, no going to the bathroom, anything. Even if I were to somehow... Yeah, I'm basically figuring out how you play this game here, so pardon the learning curve. So I'm basically like, how do I make it past this wall? I will say, and I ultimately decided to scrap this idea and move on to perfect playthrough number 25, since it's my 25th. I was able to squeeze this game in basically at the last second. And I will at least say that Rocket Knight Adventure definitely has some pretty solid level design. This opening level right here is basically straight out of Super Mario Brothers, or at least the principles of how that first level is set up. Where there are these obstacles that are relatively safe and easy to overcome, but you still have to figure out just what to do. You try to figure out the ins and outs of how to play the game. So even if you get frustrated in this level, you're not being penalized. There isn't even a time limit. So really, you have every reason to try to figure out the inertia of how to play this game. And now I'm starting to figure out, I get this one up. Because I probably want that one up. Alright, here we go. So yes, this opening level performance, if you are wondering why it sucks so bad, it's because I am literally figuring out how to play this game at the last minute. It definitely takes a bit of while getting used to. Like, you'd think one button would be the charge button, the other would be the attack, and the other would be jump, but no, attacking and charging are aligned to the same two buttons, A and C. You press B to jump. So yeah, that is a bit of a criticism on my end. I think, you know, if anything, they probably could have had the charge attack be C, and the A attack be, or even make the A be charge and C attacks. Rocket Knight Adventures isn't really a platforming game, although there are some platforming components to it. I think it's best to classify this as an action game, in a similar vein to Alien Storm. Even has those, it even has some of those, beat 'em up style of, some of the same beat 'em up stylings that you get with the go, go, go. The game will let you progress until you take out all the enemies in a screen, and so on. And now, you know, we figure out how boss fights work. Basic strategies, not too difficult. We learn how to do the flying sections here. General thumb, stay at the back. If the enemies come to you, none of these enemies can actually defend themselves, so there's no excuses. But now we have an enemy that we have to chase. And something you find out is if you keep spamming the attack button, like I am, you are basically invincible in the frames that Sparkster is attacking. Oh yeah, the main character's name is Sparkster, and he's the leader of the Rocket Knights. The plot is simple. A pig army is attacking the castle and attempts to kidnap the princess to hold as a hostage to open a seal that will unleash an ultimate weapon upon the world. However, it's the princess who holds the key to unlocking the seal. And this is a world that... And there's also a traitor amongst the Rocket Knights that Sparkster has taken upon himself to deal with. And it's basically Sparkster's arch nemesis. So yeah, right now I'm basically just limiting my use of save states to between the segues, so I'm not taking forever to figure out how to play this game. And this world apparently is like combines nature, magic, and technology. So basically this game has this game is basically like Alien Soldier, but sane and comprehensible in terms of story. It's also not quite as hard, but you can get a permanent game over. However, you don't get unlimited lives, not even on the easiest difficulty setting. Actually, on the hardest difficulty setting, you get 1 life, no continues. There's no way to gain more lives, there's no way to get more continues, and you can't gain any more health other than presumably by clearing a stage. So I'm not quite sure what I'm doing here. Guess there was nothing. Huh? Uh-oh. Take these guys out. Ah, yeah. Am I a badass or what? But now we have to take on the first boss, which is this... Well, the big boss anyways. as usual, this game is all about figuring out how this game works. And though I took a bit of punishment there, I at least beat him on my first try. Every 2,000, and you get an extra life off the first 20,000 points, and every 60,000 points after that, you get an extra life. Konami didn't make a lot of games for the Sega Genesis, but in general, their output is based on reputation, ranks among some of the absolute best on the Sega Genesis hardware. Most of the best games outside of Konami games are first party, or maybe I guess second party if you include Treasure. So yeah, we start off with the sub-boss straight away. And our arch nemesis, the traitor Rocket Knight, kidnaps the princess, and now we have to go save her. And save the world as well. Get the banana. Bananas heal like 4 health, while apples only heal 1. Alright, those stupid fucking owls. I like these owl bats that won't leave you alone. Come on. And the reason why I don't like to treat this like a traditional platformer is because Rocket Knight's jump sucks. The platforming isn't really momentum based, like what you would associate with your typical platforming. It's very much an action based game. You know how you get these clunky platforming wannabe games that tend to get all sorts of praise despite not having the best controls? You know, games like Kingdom Hearts or the aforementioned Alien Soldier. Well, Rocket Knight Adventures is basically like that. However, people... Okay, what the hell am I getting wrong? Ah, so that's how it works. Okay. So I was wondering, how do I get past there? And I realized, oh, you go in the background. It's one of those tricky stages that takes a while to figure out. I mean, this should goes without saying, wow, you must be some kind of fucking idiot or something. How do you not figure something like this out? I realize, oh, this is literally the first boss where you have to home in on a weak spot. And get used to seeing, like, the little red spots, because those are the weak spots. And this sub-boss was defeated without too much trouble. And now... Alright. Hopefully we don't get too many more of these, side distractions. Realize you can actually kill these things, by the way. There are a ton of water levels. Those fucking owls. I gotta get used to the fact that you can't steer after yourself after you shooting yourself upward. So this is a good attack to use, but it can be punishing if your mark is off. Come on, stupid fucking owl. Why do I need a charge just to get this banana? Why is it too high to reach by jumping? Alright kid, this is not a bad game. And what I'm basically describing basically teeters on angry video game nerd as nitpicks. I probably should have just taken the death here because I am basically setting myself up to basically have a really hard time in the minecarts. So I memorized the patterns here on these cards. I don't know why I never thought, hey, I should probably take the death so I actually have an easier time with this part. That is a strategy that one should implement, is no one die. Perfect playthrough, because you can't save your game playing this game under normal circumstances. I don't count max lives as a condition for completion. Even then, I have no idea how you go about farming for 99 lives in this game. If anybody could tell me, please let me know. But really, it's all about getting to the groove when dealing with these cards. Know the pattern and just get in the groove like so. Yes, I am using save states. If I screw up too badly, I start over. But I do show off the learning curve for how I learn to play this game. I don't get this chicken. And I'm starting to think that this was probably like a checkpoint or something. Probably should have taken it. If I'd known that, I probably would have taken the accidental death. But, you know, first time. But here's the main boss of this stage. Yeah, ain't that gonna be that easy. Now we have to take out those claws. And again, you are invincible when you are on the frames where you are unleashing your little scythes at the enemies. Using the rewind feature for the first time because I'm trying to... Yep, this is just getting annoying. I just have to keep attacking the hands. Until this thing is beaten. And do we have another phase after this? Looks that way. Oh yeah, this definitely reminds me a lot of Alien Soldier, except it's, even though you don't gain unlimited continues like you do with the Alien Soldier, this isn't quite as difficult. But it is cut very much, however the two games are basically cut from the same cloth. I should be noted too that Treasure was a company made up of former Konami employees, disgruntled Konami employees, particularly with the Contra team and stuff. So it would not surprise me. I'm trying to figure out how to get past this part without dying. Because it seems like the directions these bouncing balls go are entirely RNG based, so it's very arbitrary where they wind up. Finally. Now I know this is the end of the boss fight. Apologize for the abuse of the rewind feature, but if I knew what the checkpoint system was actually like in this game, I probably would have taken the death a lot earlier than I did. Now, this is kind of a cool looking stage. This is not just a cool special effect. The idea is you look at the reflections to see where you are at. Now, I wasn't paying attention at first, which is why I chose to just charge straight ahead like that. But when I see, oh, the platforms are covered up by the magma there, reflecting where they are located, maybe I should take those that reflection into account. So yeah, kind of cool. I'm just speedrunning through this section because it's something I learned is if you get hit, you lose your charge attack. So I'm being very careful here. To use the charge attack. And here's our sub-boss. Our first boss of the third stage. And now we're starting to see that even the sub-bosses have that weak spot. Alright, and I looked at a walkthrough for this. We're like, oh yeah, I can... And even if I don't hit the main boss, I can still hit that those arms. And hopefully take them out. I only end up taking the one on the right. Well, my right, not his. Or I got... Well, either the pig or Sparkstar's right. Given the angle. It's all in the perspective. But now that the claw on the right has been taken care of, I can just focus my efforts on the main boss, and there we go. Go through that tunnel down there. This is kind of annoying because those fucking owls take 2 hits and they like to home in on you. Oh yeah, they attack you while you're vulnerable in spots like this. That's cheap. Be careful not to fall out, because even though the magma won't instant kill you, they might as well, because they take out like half your health. And now I need to stay ahead of the legs. And now we are ready for the boss. This giant fish. And you remember the lava reef boss fight? Well, it's like this, only way harder. And with far more interesting dynamics. Bright side, it only takes like 5 hits to kill this guy. Also, this thing feeds you bananas constantly. Alright. So the main platform and try to climb up these descending platforms up above, because that makes more sense. Almost missed my jump there. Actually, I take that back. This thing is probably way easier. By the way, the boss is actually the pig thing that jumps out periodically. And it takes 5 hits to hit him. This is because, ooh, almost got eaten right there. The fish is invincible and will probably kill you instantly if you let him eat you. Well, okay, took out 3 hearts, which is almost half. And it didn't matter because we took him out 5 hits and we've won. On to stage 4, and believe it or not, we are about halfway done with this game. If you know the length of this walkthrough is anything to go by. Oh, look, a cutscene. Well, looks like we know where the princess is being held, and the king is gonna help us out. Hey, look, dinosaurs. There's like almost no reference to the fantastical elements of this world. It's really just anthropomorphic animals and tech and advanced space technology and stuff. And then you realize, oh, this is like ping pong. Alright, and we have to go up. And if you get hit by the barrels, you get flung backwards, so be careful. Now, alright, we go on the other side. Alright, the trader has the princess in hand. And we take out these robot monkeys. Because I think they're monkeys. They could also be like bomb pigs. I mean, all the other bad guys are pigs or robots, so why not those? Do not get that one up, you will die. There's the sub-boss. Oh, this is how you damage these guys. This sub-boss. And I'm not thinking, hey, why not use the rocket charge? If I do that and I miss, you die. So this is the safe route. Ooh. That's scary, but at least I made it. And these guys seem to just pop up infinitely. Oh, they're not popping up infinitely, they just keep running away. Alright, let's keep going. This game came out right as the Sega Genesis swapped out its black labels for their cases in favor of the red label. And however, Konami would be late to the party on this color switch because Konami, similar Electronic Arts and accolades and other third-party developers, actually preferred giving their Genesis cartridges their own unique aesthetics. When you play Konami games on the Genesis or Super Nintendo, the expectation is that you are playing arcade-style games. Even though Rocket Knight Adventures is a Genesis exclusive, meaning no arcade, it still presents you somewhat with that arcadey feel. Honestly, in terms of presentation, this is definitely one of the most visually impressive looking Genesis titles out there. There are some parts in this game that make me think that Konami somehow found a way to fit Mode 7, which is a Super Nintendo feature, that even carried over to the Game Boy Advance and somehow made it work. And we just beaten the boss of Stage 4. So far, I am able to manage pretty much just fine. Outside of Act 2 requiring the boss fight requiring the rewind feature, I've been fairly consistent to be as genuine to life as possible. Why am I using stuff like save states and a rewind feature? It's literally so this game doesn't take 6 hours to beat in like dozens of tries. I am taking college classes right now, and I don't want to get completely overwhelmed, and I don't want to overwhelm myself by basically doing something that'll take up too much time to do. I will probably find some way to address the difficulty issue and the honesty issue as well. But for perfect playthrough conditions, you basically have to beat the game and that's it. There's no completionist criteria, unless you want to beat the game on the hardest difficulty setting. I reckon that will give you like some bonus efforts, but you know, like they will give you a congratulations, you've mastered this game or something like that. But obviously I am nowhere near good enough at this game to do the game on the hardest difficulty. I know people expect the hard mode whenever the difficulty question pops up, but you don't make people play the hardest difficulty, especially when the hardest difficulty is effectively YOLO from start to finish. Alright, we took out the barriers, and I am basically just going to go all out on the attacks because this time I know I'm going to purposefully take the death after I beat this guy. I mean, it helps that there's a 1-up right there, and this guy is invincible, and will kill you in one hit, regardless of how much health you have. So yes, this is kind of annoying. About 30 times the charm. And now we have to race all the way down to the bottom before those guys get there, because they get there first, it's all over. And this is quite a scare. But by the skin of my teeth, I made it. Just keep running. Avoiding those armored pigs. This is literally the only way to kill them, but we're not gonna wait for that. And this part in particular is quite annoying. Charge your attack like this. Wait till we get to those platforms before using it. Oh, another charge attack. I could barely make that one, but the next time we go through the narrow corridors, we're gonna need to use it. And we need to angle it too, or else we'll ricochet backwards and get crushed. But that last one doesn't matter, because once we reach the teleport, we are going in automatically. This is good practice to learn how to operate this lift thing. So yes, you hit down switch to descend, up switch to ascend, or if you're ascending already, hit the down switch to remain level, or the up switch to remain level. Like so. Pretty easy. Or now those spike things will insta kill you. So I'm being careful. This is pretty straightforward so far. Don't go up there. There may be like a way to get that extra life, but it's not worth it. Konami loves to bait you with extra lives and effectively dare you to go get them. But again, this is a game where there's no save feature, so you just go straight to the end and beat it. Oh boy. This is one of the hardest bosses of the game, one of the hardest sequences in the entire game, because you basically have to keep moving. By the skin of my teeth, and I don't feel like doing. Come on. Alright. Makes you think you can hit the blue, land on those blue things, but you can't. Alright, strategy, let them come to you, and then attack. I wound up letting him get some cheap shots in. So now I'm just gonna react to him. Come on, let's go. And yep, even though we are dealing with the traitor right here right now, it's the main boss, he will still manage to get away. So, yeah. Considering that we keep fighting this guy, I wonder if he's the main villain. But so, we just rescued the princess from the evil emperor, evil pig emperor here. with aspirations for world domination. Unfortunately, even though we saved the princess, he has unleashed he is about to head towards the super weapon and unleash upon the world. You know that Death Star-like thing with the pig face? Well, let's just say Sonic Team wasn't the only company that had the idea to borrow heavily from Star Wars in designing their super space station. Konami also thought of the right idea. It's called the Pig Star. You know, Sonic has the Death Egg, Rocket Knight has the Pig Star. Alright. Oh, it's just a minor loss. The pink ones will give you apples. Take care of the stationary ones because they will fire missiles on you if you don't. And beware of the flying missiles. I mean, this is one of the few times where the asteroids will actively attack you from behind. And there's no way to turn around. Here's the first boss of Stage 6. Again, if I knew how the checkpoint system of Rocket Knight Adventures worked, I probably would have taken the death in this stage. I was probably afraid that wouldn't work. Take out a couple of these soldiers, and here's our arch nemesis once more. And he's a sub-boss this time. Just take out his minions. And I'll take him out. We are getting dangerously low on health. Looks like I made the right call in going after him, and once again our arch nemesis refuses to die. Got as many of those apples as I could, in time for the boss. And I cannot defend myself from the back. And it's so fucking arbitrary what will kill you in one hit and what you can actually touch. Like, it's ridiculous how arbitrary a lot of this shit can be. And this is probably the longest and most drawn out boss fight in the entire game. Trying to figure out what we can hit and what we can't hit. As this stage effectively becomes Bolt Hell incarnate. So yes, Rocket Knight Adventures, even on easy mode, gets pretty brutal in its difficulty. There's also a children's difficulty, but you can't get the true ending on children's difficulty. The game just stops right after the final battle. Come on. Seems... Seems fairly arbitrary what part of this boss that you can hit. You have to hit the main head of the ship. And man, this boss fight just keeps going. Think they had enough? Konami really wanted to kick your ass in this fight. But now we have to hit the main ship itself. That was close. I thought for sure we were screwed. Unfortunately, we still get one more phase because this boss has no idea when to quit. I have no idea how I'm gonna hit this thing. What's its weak spot anyways? Come on. Well, I basically went... Okay, I'm like, how do I hit this thing? I yet to figure out how I hit him that first time, or why the game won't let me hit him at all. Alright. So something I learned from the guide, I probably could have applied. And when you keep getting hit and dying like this and have to, you know, rewind, you basically get a little bored a bit and pause the emulator and look up the walkthrough. This is literally when I noticed that big orange ball spot bouncing all over the place. That is the boss's weak spot. And when he goes berserk like that, you hide the top left corner. So once you get all that done, you realize this bullet hell sequence is basically this, obviously, is the trickiest part of this fight. Because this part becomes really easy once you figure out the trick. And I even sort of start to get the bullet hell thing as well, and how to space myself. But this is a really fast-paced game, and there's no noticeable lag when playing this game on BizHawk. Honestly, this is kind of the reason. True story, I almost considered picking up Rocket Knight Adventures from the nearby Second and Charles. That's where I got a lot of my other games, like Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles, which I did use for my perfect playthrough of that game. Now we are in the final level, the Pigstar. This is probably the best track in the game. So catchy. But yes, this is really, really, really fast. So yes, I basically had to time my charge attacks just the right way. And obviously I don't want to fight these guys, so I'm just using the charge attack to skip all the way to the next boss fight. And we found out that the Pig Emperor was just a robot this whole time, so I just want to wonder where the real Pig Emperor is. And even though it looks like this is the end of our arch nemesis, he does this. And now we have no choice but to launch ourselves at him. Looks like, I think we might... Have we beaten him yet? No. We just got rid of all of his missiles, and now he will launch himself at us if we're not careful. We can probably afford to get a little aggressive here. Because we will be coming across some bananas real soon. And we finally took on our arch nemesis. Unfortunately, there's still more game to play. What else is there? We exposed the Pig Emperor as just a robot, and we avenged our fallen Rocket Knight pals. I guess we have to stop the super weapon. We have to be careful when dealing with these robot guys on a higher slope because we literally have to take them out. And we took off our invincibility frames so we can actually get what we wanted. There are the bananas, and there's a 1-up right there. And I literally tried to reach that 1-up for quite a while, and I decided, you know what, it's not worth wasting so much time trying to get. See, there's that 1-up, but I can't reach it. So, like, you know what, let's just go straight for the final boss. Now, the trick here is simple. You need to hit the switch, and at first it's really just gonna bounce around like a bouncing ball. And you want to hit the switches, which are all entirely on the top of its head, either on the side. And finally got that. 6 hits, so now we move to the next phase. And he's completely invincible during this phase, so we just want to dodge his attacks. Now we want to manipulate the RNG for one of the weapons so we have easy access to the switches here. I like to wait till the face comes down and then go for the switches afterwards. And then wait till you see his face, then jump over him to manipulate the direction of where his weapons pop up, and just attack this switch when it's underneath them. And we're in phase 4. This is the chaotic phase where the switch basically remains on top of his head at all times. And you have almost no room to actually land a hit. And I realized, hey, I should stay on the right-hand side and take this guy out. And the music keeps speeding up, and the boss music keeps speeding up. You notice that? And we are at the final phase of this boss fight. Phase 5. This time it will only appear on the underside, and more specifically on like the sides of the bottom. And that is it. That is the final boss. However, because we did not play this game on children's difficulty, we still have one last section to take care of. And this is how you get the true ending. Go through this escape pod, and all we can really do from here on out is dodge. Watch as the pig star goes kablooey. Unfortunately, something else is chasing after us. And according to the strategy guide on GameFAQs, it is the pig entrails. Really, it's the remains of the core trying to chase us down and finish the job. Man, this thing deals a shit ton of damage. At least the game was cursy enough to regenerate us. However, those whip-like features are really difficult to dodge. And I'm trying to make it back through the atmosphere where we will hopefully survive. I'm not quite sure what would happen if you died here, since you basically saved the day, and this thing is going to die anyways. Alright, we are approaching re-entry. And this thing is not gonna survive the trip through re-entry. So I'm curious to know what exactly would have happened if you lost all your lives here. Would you get game over, or would you get the bad ending? Since we already saved the world by this point in time anyways. And that is it. Took me just under an hour, and the only reason why it goes over that amount is because there's like 3 minutes of end credits. And Sparkster was gracious enough to bring the princess back to her kingdom. Keep in mind that Sparkster had to leave her behind in order to chase down the bad guys and save the day. So he came back for her after saving the day. So again, leaves one to wonder what would happen if you actually lost all your lives during the final descent. But yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Even though you don't see like the any fields, anything but skies in this that big sprite of Sparkster here, it is quite impressive how this game looks. The game sounds pretty cool too. I mean, the music's not my favorite on the Genesis, not by a long shot. But you know what? Pretty much everything else by Konami standards is basically right up in the stratosphere. I do think this is a much superior version of a much superior version of what Alien Soldier attempted to accomplish a couple years later. By the way, Alien Soldier is a PAL and Japanese exclusive Genesis title. But yeah, I do think this is honestly a really solid title, all things considered. I don't know if I would say that this game is like very near and dear to me in my heart, but honestly I really do dig it. It's a lot of fun. I think if I play this game a lot more often, maybe get a physical copy and grind on it, I could actually appreciate all the more. You know, similar to how my appreciation for the Sonic games came about. You know, lots of failure, dealing with lots of failure and learning the ropes of each stage, and tons of practice. But, you know, I never owned this game, I never knew anybody who owned this game, and I only found out about it years later through, like, game trailers and Screw Attack. But with all that said, if you like what you see, leave a like, comment, subscribe to my channel. I'd really appreciate it. I hope to get a lot more Sega Genesis content out in the near future. And no, I'm not trying the normal or hard difficulties anytime soon. But with all that said, this is Mike Gordon, sign out.